Welcome back. In this video, I will be explaining arithmetic progression. In the last video, I explained what is sequence, the types of sequence, and how to obtain the nth term of linear sequence and nonlinear sequence. Also, from the type of sequence I gave you, I said we have a linear sequence. So what is a linear sequence? So that is, a type of sequence whereby the consecutive terms increases. The consecutive terms increase or decrease by a constant, by adding or subtracting a constant number. So for example, when you have 1, 3, 5, 7, you understand now? You will see that we have, the constants, the two consecutive terms here, that is 1, 3, gives a difference of 2. Likewise, 3 and 5 gives difference of 2, and difference between 7 and 5 is also 2. So you see that the two consecutive terms actually, give a similar relationship. That is, we obtain the difference between the relationship between the two consecutive term by what? By adding 2 to that number. When you have this type of sequence, so we call it what? So we call it a linear sequence. Then I told you in the last video that a linear sequence is also the same thing as what? It's also the same thing as arithmetic progression, so known as AP. So what we are going to do today is an AP, that is an arithmetic progression, which is also a linear progression, So if you notice here from the example I gave, 1, 3, 5, 7. So you observe that we have, a constant. So, and a constant, that constant is common to two consecutive what? Two consecutive terms. So that constant here, which is 2, is known as what? Is known as common difference. So the name given to it is called what? It's called a common difference. Likewise, I told you, in the video, that each of these number is known as term. So this is also a term. We call this guy 1 year term, which is the first term. So this first term here is known as A. So it's denoted by A. So it means if I want to say, let's say I want to generate, a general formula for the nth term of an AP, that is a linear progression, since I already know the first term and I know the difference, and I'm aware that the difference between two consecutive terms for a linear sequence or an arithmetic progression is constant, then I can actually obtain this. So then the general form of AP, let us do that. My first term, like I've defined it, it is A, right? If you want to know your second term, since it is a linear sequence, we obtain the subsequent term by adding what? The same what? Difference, constant, which is the common difference to each of them. So it means we add this constant to this guy, you are going to have A plus D. You understand now? So then this one will give you what? A plus D, since we are adding what? Constant term to it. To know the next one, you have A plus D plus D plus D, and so on. Let me stop here. So then this one will give you what? A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and so on. You understand now? This is what? The general form of an AP. Okay, now let's say I now want to what? Let's say I want to obtain a general terms or an nth term of this what? Of this sequence. And don't forget, based on the explanation I gave, what I told you is to what? Is to draw your table. You understand now? Or if you don't want to draw your table, so we know that my n here, we were given first 4 term like I've explained. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you write, the corresponding term to each of these what? To each of these number or each of these term, I have 3 here. Then this is A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D. You understand? So you will see that I mean, if you subtract the second term from the first term, the common difference is what? It is D. So if you subtract this guy from this guy, that is A plus 2D minus A plus D. So that will give you what? A plus 2D minus A minus D minus A minus D. This guy will cancel this 2D minus D. We also give you D. So the difference between this guy and this guy is also D. Likewise, this is also D. What can you obtain? It means you can say, I mean, this one is what? Is in terms of table D. You understand? Like I've explained the other time, when you say table 4, for example, you have 4 times 1, 4, 4 times 2, 8, 4 times 3, 12. It's also a sequence. So we have the constant term is what? That is the common difference is 4. You understand that? So likewise, this is also a sequence. In fact, the constant here is also D. So that's why when we have D, so we have 2D, so we have 3D. So but the difference between this term and this one is that, so this one actually starts from 1. So but in order to obtain the one that is corresponding to this, like I've explained in the last video, if you've not watched it, go and watch it. Then you are going to find what your ND, that is, you start by multiplying your D from by 1 up to, I mean, the terms you're having. So then this one will give me what? D times 1, you are going to have D, D times 2, 2D, D times 3, 3D, 4D. Then after that, you are now going to subtract from the general term here. You understand? That is the general table here and the term you were given. So then in essence, this one will now give me what? A minus D. That will give me, then you are going to have, if you subtract it, that will give you A minus D. Then A plus D minus 2D. A plus D minus 2D will also give you A minus D. A plus 2D minus 3D, that's also A minus D. Then this is also A minus D. Then from the last video, don't forget, it means your nth term will be what? ND plus what you obtain here, that is A minus D. You understand now? So n term is equal to what? ND plus A minus D. So if you write this guy very well, so you can say this A minus D plus ND. You understand now? You will observe that you have what is common here. If you check the last two terms, that is minus D plus ND. So I have A, this ND. You can rewrite this as plus ND minus D. I hope I'm communicating. If that is cleared, then you will observe that I have what in common? D is common here. You understand now? So D is common. If you factor D out, so let's say you factor D out here, what do you have left here? This is N, then this is minus 1. So and that's nth term. That is the general formula for the what? So for the general form of arithmetic progression. So from here, since you know that your Tn, that is the general term, is A plus N minus 1 into D, then I can find my T1, that is the first term. Don't forget the first term is obtained by what? By substituting the value of N to be 1 in your formula. So then you are going to have A plus 1 minus 1 into D. So A plus 1 minus 1 into D. So and that will give you A plus 0D. So A plus 1 minus 1 into D, that's A plus 0D. 0 times D is 0. So that's give you A. Okay, now you can find your T2 similarly. So T2 will also give you what? So that is where you see N here, you substitute the value of 2 to it. So then you have what? A plus 2 minus 1D. That will give you A plus 2 minus 1 is what? So 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 times D, that is D. Sorry, my marker is misbehaving. Then you can find your third term. So your third term will be what? A plus 3 minus 1D. That will give you A plus 2D. You can find your fourth term. That's A plus 4 minus 1D. So that will give you A plus 3D. That will give you A plus 3D. Let me change the markup, maybe. So then my T5 will give me A plus 5 minus 1D. So that is A plus 4D. So what do you observe? If you check the term very well, we have that my first term is A, my second term is A plus D, my third term is A plus 2D, my fourth term is A plus 3D, my fifth term is A plus 4D. What do you observe? So you will notice that for each of these terms, it's just like subtracting one from the difference. You understand now? So that's why first term is not having difference at all. For the second term, so we have what? A plus D. You know, it is two. We're supposed to have two difference. We subtract one from it. So that's why we have A plus D. So for the third term, you know, we are supposed to have like, you know, for third term, maybe we have three difference. So, you know, it's just like when you subtract another D from it. So then I'm going to have A plus 2D. In essence, it means in general, when you have the number of term, then that's going to be that number of term minus 1 multiplied by the difference. You understand? So what I'm trying to say in essence here is that when you have 99 term, you don't need to stress yourself. 99 term will be what? A plus, you know, 99, just subtract 1 from it, 98D. What of 100 term? So T 100 will give me what? So A plus 100, 100 minus 1, which is 99. The what of 1000? A plus 999 D. You understand now? Likewise, for when you find your X term, you don't need to stress yourself. That will be A plus S minus 1 D. So that's the general formula for what? For an arithmetic progression. And I hope you understand how that is obtained. So if that is clear, let me give you an example to back it up. Example, example. So I have that I'm asked to find the fifth, 10th term of the AP 5, 10, 15, 20. You understand? If you check this very well, you notice it's also an AP. Well, since we've been told it is an AP, then we know we can find our common difference, which is a constant term. So don't forget, your common difference is obtained by subtracting what? So the subsequent terms from each other, that is T2 minus T1, T3 minus T2. You understand now? So it means my A here, that is the first term, is 5. So then your common difference is also 5. How do you obtain that? You can obtain it by subtracting second term from first term, or third term from second term, or third term from fourth term. So you can use any of the above. So since we are given this, then the first question asks us to find what? The fifth term. What is fifth term? Don't forget the explanation I gave before, that is your first term is A. You understand now? I said your first term is A. If your first term is A from, I mean, the sequence we obtain in the other time, you know, I said the second term is A plus D. So the third term is A plus 2D. Even the 100th term is A plus 99D. So in essence, what will be my fifth term here? My fifth term will be A plus 4D. You understand that? So your fifth term will be A plus 4D. And to obtain that, since you already know the value of your A and value of D, so then you can find that directly. Whenever you see A, you put what? You put 5. So then 4 into D, which is also 5. That will give me what? 5 plus 20, which is equal to 25. You can see it is very simple, isn't it? Okay, now let us find the second one. 10th term. You don't need to stress yourself. Your T term, based on the explanation I explained before, I gave before, T term will be A plus 9D. You understand now? We know our A to be 5. Then your common difference is also 5. That will give me 5 plus 45, which is equal to 50. Because it is very simple. What if you are asked to find 200th term. Your 200th term will be what? A plus 200 minus 1D. That is what? 199D. Then you substitute it. That's 5 times 199 multiplied by 5. And that will give you your answer. If that is clear, let me give you another example to back it up. So the next example I'm going to give is a WAEC question. So this one is a WAEC question. Example. Okay, let me just copy it here straight away. So example, the question says, so the seventh term of an AP, you don't need to stress yourself. What is the seventh term of an AP? Based on the explanation I gave, just write it. Seventh term of an AP, that is A plus 6D. Remember I said if you are finding terms of an AP, it will just be A plus that term minus 1D. You understand now? So it means the seventh term here, which is A plus 6D, is equal to what? Is in mathematics means equals to, when you see is or was or are, it means equals to, that's 22. You understand? And 38th term, what is 38th term now? 38th term will give me what? A plus 29D. Remember, I asked you to just subtract 1 from the term to obtain the formula. So that's A plus 29D is equal to 91. You understand now? You can call this equation 1, equation 2. And the question asks us to find the 50th term, nth term. So, and for 50th term, which is T50, the formula is given as A plus 49D. It means we have to find the value of A as well as D. So how do we do that? So it means you have to solve these two equations simultaneously. So you have to solve these two equations simultaneously. So for you to obtain the value of A as well as the value of what? As well as the value of D. And this is not difficult to do. How do you do that? You can use any of your method, but the simplest one you can use here is to actually subtract 2 from 1. Either you say 1 minus 2. So if you subtract equation 2 from 1, then A minus A will give me 0. Or if you don't want to stress yourself, if you don't want to get something that is negative, you can just say, or you can subtract 2 minus 1. Such that you say, you start from here, 2 minus 1, because you are avoiding a negative number. In anyone you use, so you are going to arrive at the same answer. Okay, let's say I want to say 2 minus 1, equation 2 minus 1. That will give me what? A minus A, that is 0. 29D minus 6D, that will give me 23D, equals to what is 91 minus 21? 91, 21, then this is 9. This one remain 8, that's 69. 69D. From here, it means I can find the value of my D, that's 69 divided by 23. What's 69 divided by 23? I think that is 3. You understand now? So since you obtain the value of your D, which is the common difference to be D, then you can now substitute D as 3 in any of the equation. You can say put D is equal to 3 in equation 1. For example, you can use equation 2 anyone you like. In equation we have A plus 6D is equal to 22. And now I have my D to be 3. And I'm going to have A plus 6 into 3 is equal to 22. Then A plus 18 is equal to 22, which implies that A is equal to 22 minus 18 when you collect the like terms. So that will also give you 3. Then you can conclude that your A is equal to 3 and your D is equal to 3. So now that you know that, then you can find the next question. What does the next question says? The next question asks us to find T50, that is 50th term. Don't forget 50th term, it is 50, then you are going to have A plus, just subtract 1 from 50. That will give you 49D. So 49D. So if that is cleared, since you understand that, and we know that my A, I know the value of A as well as what? As well as the value of D, then I will just make the substitution straight away. So this will just be 3 plus 49 multiplied by 3. So that will be 3 plus, what is 49 times 3? That's 147. You have 147, that will give you 150. Can you see? It's a wide question, but it is very simple. So the second question asks us to find the nth term. So the nth term, don't forget here, you don't need to memorize any formula. You know, your nth term will now be what? A plus, if it is fourth term, you have 4 minus 1d. But in general, nth term will be what? N minus 1d. You understand now? And you know that your A is 3, n minus 1d is also 3, right? So then you have your Tn to be 3 plus n minus 1 times 3. Then you have 3 plus 3n minus 3. You can see that this guy actually cancel this. Then you have your Tn to be what? To be 3n. You can see it is very simple. So that is that. Let me give you another example as the last example. So example, that is also not difficult to do. Example, let me just copy it here straight away because of the time. Okay, example. Suppose we are given this kind of question, that is how many numbers, the first question, this question is also a why question. Solution. So how many numbers between 75 and 500 are divisible by 7? You understand now? When you say number is divisible by 7, so and that's such a number is between what? 75 and 500. 75 and 500. And if you check this range now, so what is the first number that will be divisible by 7 between 75 and 500? You know that is 77. The next one will be what? That is when you have 77 plus 7, that is 84. The next one will be what? When you still add it, that's 91, right? So 91. Yeah, I think I'm correct now. So what is 77 times 3? No, I'm not. I'm wrong. Let's check it again. So the first one here is 77 because 77 divided by 7 will give me 11, right? What is the next one? When you add 7 to it, that's 84. Then plus 7, that's also 91. No, I'm wrong. It is not 7. You understand what I mean now? Because here we are just asked to find one that has the difference of 7. So the number that has what? Difference 7. That are divisible by 7. The first number that are divisible by 7 here is what? 77. So the next one, I think it is 84. So the next one, that is 91. You understand now? So 91, which is, that is when you divide 91 by 7, you are going to get 13. And the last one from here, the last time here, which is 500, cannot go in 7. But I think the last number within this range that can actually go in 7 is 497. You understand? If you check it very well, you will see 497 divided by 7 will give you 71. So it means from here, I actually know A to be 77. You understand now? So also I know my last term, which is the nth term. You can say your last term is 497. You understand? And we know the common difference to be 7 because the difference between the two consecutive time is 7. Then from here you can actually find your what? So we are asked to find what do we call it? The number of terms. That is how many numbers. That is how many numbers are you going to find there? That is when you count it, how many of them are you going to have? So you can actually do this by writing the last term. Remember I said last term is same thing as nth term. So either you write nth term, last term, or Tn, they are the same. Don't forget the formula for nth term or last term is a plus n minus 1d. A plus n minus 1d. And we were given that our last term, here to be 497. You make the substitution. Is equal to a, which is 77 here, plus n, which we are finding minus 1 into 7. You understand now? You can collect the like time. This guy will be 497 minus 77, then plus 7n minus 7. You understand? So, so is equal to 7n minus 7. What is 497 minus 77? That should give you 420, right? So if that is cleared, so then you are going to have 7n minus 7. Then you can collect the like time. Then you have 7n is equal to 427. So which implies that your n equals to 427 divided by 7. That will give me 7 in 42, that's 6, 7 in 7. It means your n is 1. That is the numbers between 75, that is when you count it one by one that are divisible by 7, that is 77, 84, up to 497. You can try it out. You are going to have what? You are going to have 61. You're going to have 61 of them. So another one, that is the last question, which is also a why question. It is not difficult to do. So the question says, the eighth term of an AP, remember your T8. Eighth term is what? A plus 7D. You don't need to stress yourself. Is, I told you when you heard the word is means equals to 5 times the third term. 5 times the third term. You understand that? Maybe let me copy the question here again so that you can see what I'm actually doing. So, yeah. So, we are given that the eighth term is what? That is eighth term here. We have A plus 7D. A plus 7D is 5 times the third term. So, the third term is A plus 2D. I hope you understand how we have that. You understand now? Then the second one is why the seventh term. It means they finish this. You can actually call this equation 1 or you solve it for that. This will give you A plus 7D is equal to 5A plus 10D, right? If you collect the like times, bring this guy here. Then you have A minus 5A is equal to 10D minus 7D. That implies that 4A, you understand now, is equal to 3D. If you take it inside, you can have that my 3D, or let me just say minus 4A minus 3D is equal to 0. Yeah, that's that. We've done with the first statement. So minus 3D is equal to 0. And the second statement says, why the seventh term? What is seventh term now? A plus 6D is greater than what? So is greater than the fourth term. I think something is actually missing. So I think that was in a typographical error. So why the what? Why the seventh term is what? Is greater than the fourth term. So you have the seventh term, you have it greater than the fourth term by what? Let me check the question again. I think it's a why question, but something is actually missing. Yeah. So the third term, why the third term is 9 greater? Sorry, there should be 9 here. Is 9 greater than the fourth term. When you say something is 9 greater than the fourth term, that is when you have your fourth term, which is A plus 3D, then you have it plus 9. When I'm 9 greater than you, it means my age will be your age plus 9. You understand now? Then you can actually collect the like terms here. This guy will cancel this here. Since you have A minus A will be 0. Then you have 6D. You understand now? So your 6D will be what? Minus 3D, if you bring this guy up to the other side, is equal to 9. Sorry for this stupid marker. So then this will give me 3D is equal to 9, which implies that D is equal to 3. So if you obtain your D to be 3, then from here, from the first equation, we have that my minus 4A, maybe I call this equation 1. So put D is equal to 3 in equation 1. If you put that in equation 1, that is minus 4A minus 3D is equal to 0. Then wherever you see D, you put 3. That's minus 4A minus 3 into 3 is equal to 0. So minus 4A minus 9 will give me 0. You understand now? So if that is cleared, then you are going to have that minus 4a equals 9, which implies that a is equal to 9 over 4. Minus 9 over 4. So a is equal to minus 9 over 4. So, but the question asks us to find the first 5 terms of the AP. So how do you now find the first 5 terms of the AP? That is not difficult to do, since you know already what is what. What is your actually A, that is the first term, which is minus 9 over 4, and you know your D to be what? To be 3. Then since your first 5 term will be A plus D, so A plus 3D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, that's fourth term, and A plus 4D, which is the fifth term. And you now substitute, this will be 9 minus 9 over 4. This will be minus 9 over 4 plus 3. The next term will be what? Minus 9 over 4 plus 2 times 3, that is 6 because of the time. So then minus 9 over 4 plus 9 and minus 9 over 4 plus 12. So then this guy will be minus 9 over 4. So if you find the LCM of this guy and add this together, that's minus 9 plus 12. You understand now? And minus 9 plus 12, that will give you 3 over 4. This is what I do. I find the LCM, that's 4. 4 times 4 in 4 is 1. Minus 9 plus 12. You understand now? So minus 9 plus 12 is 4. Is 3, sorry. So that is I have minus 3 over 4. So then this one, that will give me minus 15, that's negative over 4. And this one, that is 36 minus 9, minus 25 over 4. And lastly, so that is what? Minus 9 over 4 plus 12. If you also find the LCM, your LCM is 4. No, this should be 27. It is possible because this is minus, not negative again. I think I make a mistake because if you find the LCM, LCM is 4. 4 in 4, 1 minus 9 plus minus 9 plus 24. Yeah, so that's 15. 3 over 4. And this one, that is 4. That's minus 9 plus what is 4? That's 48. So that will give you 39 divided by 4. So it means the first 5 terms are minus 9 over 4, minus 3 over 4, 3 over 4, 15 over 4, 27 over 4, and 39 over 4. So that's that. That's how you can find your nth term, or you can find the general term of an AP. Remember, if your first term is A, your second term is A plus D, your third term is A plus 3D. That is obtaining by what? By subtracting 1 from that term, which is 3. That's why I have A plus 2D. If you want to find 100th term, that will be A plus 100D. Please, if you like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to benefit others. I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you.